Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. So aiming is obviously key in any FPS game. So let's make sure you know everything about improving your aim before we start practicing other aspects of Overwatch. The tips in this video won't magically get you to 100% accuracy, nor will it be an instant change, but rather help you get better at aiming all around with the entire Overwatch roster, and yes, that does include Winston. Here are 6 tips for improving your aim in Overwatch on PC.
So before we talk about heroes, strategies and so on, we need to start with nailing down the mechanics and gameplay, which is what we're going to do here. With competitive play around the corner, we're going to shift our content over to in-depth tips and specific knowledge for improving at the game, since our earlier videos have been more focused on introducing you to everything Overwatch has to offer. If you have any questions of potential videos you'd like us to do for in-depth stuff, let us know in the comments below. So first of all, we need to make sure you're in top condition before you even open the game. So let's fix potential problems with your mouse settings. We basically need to make sure your mouse acceleration is turned off. In a nutshell, if you snap the mouse quickly to a position, the pointer will move across the screen a lot faster than if you did it slowly. You can see how this may affect your aim when playing a game. So we need to turn this off. You basically want to find pointer options on your computer. For Windows 8 to 10 users, you jump into mouse settings, go to advanced, options, then pointer options. Once you're there, you should probably set your mouse speed to the 6th notch if it's not there already, but more importantly, make sure that you have Enhance Pointer Precision turned off. That is the mouse acceleration software in Windows. With that disabled, we can continue with the next tip.
Now we're going to go over your DPI, which is your dots per inch. Basically, the higher your DPI, the faster your mouse moves across the screen. If you have a Logitech or Razer mouse, you should have the driver software downloaded onto your computer to change some of these settings. If you don't have said software, it can be kind of difficult to help you adjust your DPI properly. There are guides online out there to help you out if needs be though. 800 DPI is a pretty common DPI to have alongside 400, 1200 and 1600. If you want to know more about driver software, then Google your mouse name along with driver software and you should be able to get started. Now in-game sensitivity is totally different. This gets a little more fiddly and all depends on what you're comfortable with. We're currently trying out the DPI and sensitivities of the professional players, which we'll get onto on the next point, but generally it goes hand in hand with your DPI. Best way to work it out is to set your computer's DPI to 800 and then start by putting your mouse at the end of your mouse mat and doing a 360 turn. Find out what is comfortable enough for you to look around that 360 angle and what feels accurate. It's all about feeling the balance of having a low sensitivity for the accuracy, but also having a high enough sensitivity so you can quickly look behind you to fight someone that's there, instead of having to drag your mouse around several times. Just to touch on it quickly as we have before, you can also change the scope sensitivity of Widowmaker in the options as well. So you can set that up differently as opposed to trying to get your sensitivity set up with all of the other ones as well.
What a lot of Overwatch players would naturally try and do is to learn from the best, in this case the Overwatch pros. A lot of the time you'll find that they have much lower sensitivity than you will have. This won't necessarily mean that it'll work for you though, but it's worth taking a look at least. If you switch your in-game sensitivity to 8 and your DPI to 800, you'll roughly be at what a lot of pro players use for their in-game sensitivity. Some like to go even lower and use a 10-inch 360, meaning that if you move your mouse horizontally 10 inches to either left or right, you will have spun around 360 degrees in-game. This might be a good type of template, but don't feel forced to go that low. In the end, it all comes down to personal preference, of course. However, if you have a ridiculously high sensitivity currently, then lowering it and getting used to your new sensitivity is probably a good idea, as it will do nothing but help you be more accurate.
The practice range is a great place to try out your sensitivity and improve your aim. Whilst learning to simply track targets is important for a hero like Soldier 76, you also need to learn how to snap between them quickly. There are a couple of good spots where you can aim at targets in front of you and behind you to see if you can quickly snap around and lock onto the enemy. Before settling on one sensitivity, you should try out a bunch of heroes. Widowmaker, Hanzo, Soldier 76 and McCree are all good ones, but someone like Tracer also plays very differently and will need to be accounted for. The practice range is perfect to try all of this out, so head over there if you haven't already.
In case you haven't already, you should go check out the reticle options in Overwatch. Head into options, controls, and then head down to the reticle section. You can change the default reticle and colors, as well as do this for individual heroes. You want to be looking for something high contrast and accurate. Both Ryan and I use the green dot as our default one, with the exception of Hanzo and Zarya. If you set a default reticle and color, you can go over the specific heroes and change a certain reticle to the default one. Hanzo, for example, has got some useful guides to know where to aim your arrow for it to hit targets at long range, and Zarya has an easy way to visualize weapon charge. Play around with the reticle options a bit until you find something that suits you.
And our final point is a mouse mat. This might seem like a bit of a silly one for those of you that are used to using smaller mouse mats, but it does make a huge difference. You don't want to constantly have to lift your mouse from the mouse mat, nor do you want to force your sensitivity to be super high to sort of compensate for this. Mouse mats are fairly cheap nowadays. Picking up a standard black one with at least a width of about 32 centimeters with a length of just under that shouldn't really cost you a lot. This tip doesn't probably apply to all of you, but what we're saying is basically this. If you've got a mouse mat like this one, then it's definitely worth investing a few bucks into upgrading. Razer do a pretty good looking mouse mat for Overwatch, which you might want to check out if you're interested. But anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed today's video. Do like it so we know if you enjoyed it or not, and give us any of your tips when it comes to sensitivity, accuracy in the comments below. Thanks for watching again, take care, and we'll see you next time.